So guys, you're looking to run a Google search campaign. This video is going to be for you. I'm going to show you how to get it all set up from day one properly, which is going to be crucial because you don't want to waste any money. So in this walkthrough, I'm going to show you the exact strategies I've done to build out the campaigns that perform. So personally, I've ran for my clients millions in ad spends over the years. So I'm going to show you the exact strategy I've used to make that work, and it has worked for them too. So this is a real world setup, guys, and it's not just theory, and this has been proven that works. So stick with me, and towards the end as well, I'm going to show you a few strong tips of some settings that's going to help you get a head start over your competition. And we want to build this right, so let's get this started. Okay guys, so we want to head over to our Google Ads account, and then we're going to go to the left hand side. There will be a campaign setting. Hit campaign, and then you should see this blue icon. Hit that. It'll then say new campaign. You want to select that, and then you're presented with this kind of campaign objectives. So all this is essentially is, if you don't really know Google Ads, Google's kind of dumbed it down a little bit. It's tried to make it easier for people who don't or haven't experienced Google Ads before. So we don't want to actually select any of these apart from the last one. So I'm going to just show you what it did anyway. So if you hit awareness and consideration, you're only going to be given these 3 campaign types, and you don't want that. So look, it just limits your kind of options that you're given with here. So all we want to do is hit the last one here. So create campaign without guidance, because this is going to unlimit all of the options we have to create. So what we want to do is hit search, because we're making a search campaign, and then we want to scroll down. So we're making a search campaign here for a car detailing business. So this is just a made up business, but obviously you guys can use it for your own one. I'm going to use the campaign goal of contacts. So all that will be is submitting a lead form, getting their contact details, and then contacting them. So that would be a goal or a conversion in our conversion settings. So once you've done that, select search, select your goal, and then hit continue. So down here, select the results you will get from this campaign. You don't actually need to hit any of these, so it doesn't actually matter. So hit continue, and then we're going to be presented with what do we want to call our campaign name. So all we want to do here is, it's already actually given us here the first bit. So this is a search campaign. So we actually just want to, what I like to do is use the brand. So for example, this is going to be James Car Detailing Business. So just James Car Detailing, and then all I like to do here, hyphen, and then hit search campaign. All I like to do really is to name it here search campaign, because things can get cluttered. So I've done a lot of audits, and I've run a lot of ads for a lot of clients, so it kind of gets messy sometimes when you don't name what the campaign is, even though it has a little icon there. So you always want to name your search campaign or your performance max as what it is, as it's quite easy to navigate the system when you're looking through all your Google Ads, especially when you have, say 30 ads running at the same time. So always make sure to name your campaign. Okay, so moving on. Okay guys, so now we're on the bidding part of the campaign. This is really crucial that we follow along, because this is probably the most important part. So what are we presented with here? It's asked us what do we want to focus on. So all I like to do is go ahead and hit clicks. So this is a brand new account, bear in mind, we have had no conversions. If we have had conversions, or you guys have had conversions, then it might be a little bit different, then you can work with that. I would then recommend you start with maybe like a target ROAS, as you can already work with the data. But I'm just going to go, for example, say you are starting a new account. We've got this new search campaign, no data, fresh account. We're going to go ahead and hit clicks. And then what we're going to do, it says set a maximum cost per click bid limit. So I've actually done a bit of research here. You guys can go ahead and go onto the tools. So if we go to tools and then we go to keyword planner. So this is a car detailing business. I've already looked at what, kind of the bid is for the top end range of that keyword is. So for me, in my area, it's actually £1.21 for a top of the page bid. So you guys, use the bid for what you want in your industry, and do a bit of research into how much that's going to cost you and where you want to place. But for me, £1.21 is what is the bid going to be, the maximum bid limit. So I like to hit that there, and I also will show you guys another tip. So I do like to go into the count afterwards and change it to manual CPC. So instead of hitting maximum bids, it's actually just going to allow us to change the bid really on individual keywords. So I will show you guys later in the video how to do that. But for now, all we're going to do is set a maximum bid here of £1.21. Customer acquisition, adjust your bidding to help you get new customers. This isn't really going to matter to us because we're not getting any repeat customers yet. So all we're going to do is ignore that, and we're going to move on to the next stage. Okay guys, so on to the next step. We're going to be presented with the campaign settings. So immediately this is going to show what networks we want to show on the Google network. So I didn't like this update when it happened years and years ago. It's just going to tick the first two. So it's going to tick you for the Google Search Partners Network, and it's also going to tick you for the display network. So really we don't want any of these on. We're not trying to waste any money here. This is our first campaign. In an ideal world, 3 to 6 months down the line, you've got some clicks coming in, you've got some conversions, we might turn on the Search Partners Network, but that's only once you've got some impressions and conversions out of the way. So all we're trying to do now is actually just get the clicks in, get the impressions in, get some conversions, and we're not trying to waste money here. We're trying to do this in the leanest, most efficient, profitable way possible. So all we're gonna do is go ahead, untick Google Search Partner Network, and then we will untick the display network. These are two completely different things. I don't like the fact Google's already ticked them, because to me, most people who are doing this might overlook it. They don't know what it means. They keep them clicked, and then before you know it, if you've got a small to medium budget, it's already blown, and you're essentially wasting money in something you don't need to. So like I said before, display network isn't anything to do with your search partner network. It's nothing to do with your search campaign. It's a completely different thing. So if I do run a display network ad, I will do that completely standalone. I wouldn't do it with the inside of the search campaign. So go ahead, untick those two, and then let's move on down here. Okay guys, so moving on to the location option. You see here we're presenting with select the location for the campaign. We're going to go ahead and hit location options, and then in here we want to select the bottom one, because the top one, people regularly in or who've shown interest in your location, doesn't necessarily mean they're in your location. They could be, so for example, the car detailing business I'm going to be using, for example, is in the middle of England, but they've shown interest in that location. It doesn't necessarily mean they are in that location. They could be around the world. So you don't want to be showing for someone who isn't in that location, especially as someone as my client who's only got 15 to 20 mile radius of his location itself. So this is a crucial bit. I know Google's already gone ahead and selected it for us as the recommended, but we want to go ahead and select presence, people in or regularly in your included locations. So that's going to give us a better bet, a hedge against our bids for the people in there. So we also want to hit here guys, enter a different location. So here what you can do is an advanced target. So like I just said, you can get 15, 20 mile radius around your city or town. So all we're going to do here, you can type in, if you're in the US, I believe it's a zip code. In the UK, you've got postcodes. So all I'm going to do here is go advanced search. So you can either just type the location itself. So for example, here we can just put Coventry, England, and then we can include. So that's just going to give you the exact location of Coventry. Or we can go ahead and we can select the radius. So you can, like I said before, you can put a zip code, you can put a postcode. So all we're going to do is go ahead and put 15 miles. I'm going to go ahead and put Coventry, England. So there we go. All that's going to do there is actually give us a 15-mile radius around the location where we are based, the service-based client. So that is going to be the ideal scenario for us. So we're going to go ahead and hit save. And then moving down, languages. So of course English. If you guys have got a different language, type it in there. But for us, we're going to stick with English. Okay, so the next step here is going to be for the audience segments. So it's already going to be on observation. You want to keep on observation purely because we want to layer these audiences over the top of what Google's already showing us. So if we selected targeting, that's not very good. It's basically just going to make sure we only show to this small pool of people that you select. So for example here, interior design, you'd only show to that pool of people if you had the targeting setting on. So we want to make sure that's not on. Just go ahead and have observation as it should be already. And then all you have to do here is select your audience. So for us, it's the car detailing business. So I'm going to go ahead and have a look for car detailing. I probably don't have a car detailing subcategory, I couldn't imagine. So here we go, car repair, maintenance, brake service and repair. So this isn't really within our niche here. So if you were doing, say, an oil change, or you're running, this is great if you're running an ad for a, an MOT garage or something. But for me, we haven't found that category on the search. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to the next tab. We're going to go browse, and there's going to be some more categories in here. So interest and habits, we're going to click that. So under here, we've got a whole subsection of categories. I usually just choose one. You can choose two if you want. So if we go down here, vehicles and transportation, we're going to click that. And then under this, we've got car enthusiasts. So people who like their cars, people who are passionate about cars, probably want to get their car detailed. So for us and the business, service-based business, this is ideal because this is our audience. So we're going to have that clicked. We're going to have these two here. And then if you guys find the ones you can, that's great. It doesn't matter too much. Google isn't, it's not like we have the targeting setting on. It's not going to matter too much. This is just basically for data purposes. Once we start running the ads, it's going to layer these categories over what is shown on the ads. And then we have a bit of feedback at the end to see who really is our audience. So like I said, guys, it doesn't matter too much if you get this kind of, specifically right on the category. As long as it's somewhat, near enough, then you'll be okay. So leave that like that. Let's move on to the next part. So the next setting is going to be for broad match keyword. This is more than likely going to be turned on for you guys. I'd like to have it turned off. You don't have to, but we're going to use broad match keywords anyway, so having it off doesn't really matter. But just have that turned off because we're going to use all sorts of keyword types anyway. I think it's just Google's way of trying to force settings on us again, like we've had in the past on this search campaign. And then moving on, automatically created assets. You can allow Google to help generate headlines, descriptions, assets, and ads for your content from your landing page. So I believe this is Google's AI creating the content, creating the ad, the headlines, and the assets for you. We don't need to do that because we're actually going to do that ourselves. So I'd like to have this setting turned off. It gives you a bit more control over your ads, especially if you're doing a bit of research as well into your competitors, and you find out, as you can see, what ads they've been running. So if you guys watch my competitor analysis video, you can see, these guys have been running this ad for a long time and this headline has been working. So you can make something similar because it's obviously worked for them. It should work for you. So we can have full control over our ads here. So keep this turned off, and then we'll move on to the next one. Okay guys, so if we keep scrolling to the bottom here, we're going to have more settings. So all this is going to ask us what the ad rotation wants to be. We're going to leave this on optimize. We don't actually need to touch this one at all, so just click out of that. So start and end dates, you don't want to have a start and an end date really, or you don't want to put an end date on there because we're not running, say, like a limited time promotion where, say for Black Friday you'd have something specific, or like a, let's just say for Christmas you'd have a certain sale on or something. But for us, we don't need an end date. I've seen many clients who have started their own campaigns, who think they know what they're doing, they put end dates, there's no point. So leave that. So if we keep looking here, guys, add schedule all day. So if you don't touch this, this is going to make sure your ads run all day and night in your time zone. So you don't want that really, because we haven't got any data yet. So we like I said before in the video, we want to make sure we're getting the most for our money here. So why would we spend money when we're not really getting customers in, you know, at 3-4 a.m. So all we're going to do here is click add schedule. So if we go down here, so I'd select Monday to Friday, and then what I'd recommend you guys doing, so if for your business, I would recommend you put in your service hours. So this is the hours when you're in the office, you're available to get on these leads and make contact. So the quicker you make contact, I believe the more chance you are getting the sale. So no one's going to be picking the phone up at 1 a.m. are they? So so for my friend's business here with the car detailing, he, I believe, starts at 7 and then he finishes at 5. So all I'm going to do is put 7 till 5, scroll down here, 7 till 5, so that's fine. So add that, and that is the schedule done. So more settings, like I said, we're not going to have the start and end dates. Campaign URL settings, so we're not using any third-party apps here, so we don't actually need to put any tracking on here, but if you did, that's where you would put it. And then finally we have brand exclusion, so we don't need to worry about this. This is, say, like your Nike and you didn't want to use your own brand within the search campaign to fire, so we don't need to worry about that at all. So that is that done. Okay guys, so now we're on the keyword part of the video. This is probably the most important part of the video, to be fair, so make sure you guys listen, and this is very important. So we've got two main things here, is the keywords we're using, and it's also how we use them. So for us, we're going to be using the keywords car detailing Coventry. So that's going to be our main keywords here. And obviously if you just left it like that, that would be used as a broad keyword. So there's 3 keyword match types. I'm going to show you them now. So broad match, there's phrase match, and there's exact match. So the ones I use to get started with, and that I also use, well, that I also see working for the best with my clients who have millions in spend, is still phrase match and exact match. So this is what I'm going to tell you guys to start with today. It's just these 2 here, phrase match and exact match. It's not to say broad match doesn't work, but in my experience, even like I said, when people have spent loads, hundreds of thousands, millions in ad spend, it's still not the most bang for your buck really in terms of what you're getting. So especially starting out, I don't recommend starting with broad match. You'll probably waste too much money. Some people may disagree with me. Go ahead and have it turned on if you wish, but my advice, don't have it turned on. I do recommend having the phrase and exact match. So let's go ahead and talk about what that means. So broad match basically means anything related to the keyword you're using. So Google's example here is home decor. It doesn't even have to have home decor in the word. It's just something relevant to that keyword. So to me, that just sounds like a waste of money to begin with anyway, not to say it won't work. Phrase match, so ads that may show on searches that include the meaning of your keyword. So this is what we're going to try and aim for here, especially with these 2, so phrase match and exact match. And finally this one, ads that may show on searches that are the same meaning as your keyword. So essentially furniture store is only going to show for furniture store. That's what that means. It's the tightest match keyword type you can get on Google. So let's just leave it these 2. We'll see how we get on, and then maybe in the future you can start using broad match, but for now you don't need to. Okay guys, so I'll show you how to do the keywords now. What we're going to do here, so like I said before, we're going to have 2 keyword types. We're going to do phrase match and we're going to do exact match. So this one we're going to put the phrase on, so car detailing Coventry, and then also to have the exact match, car detailing Coventry is the exact match. So we're also going to put another keyword here, so phrase match, car detailing near me, and then the exact match, car detailing near me. Now, usually back in the day you would have had to have done single keyword ad groups for this, but as long as they're kind of relevant terms, you can use them in this one ad group here. So the only exception is if, for example, say you were going to put, I don't know, let's think of something relevant to car detailing. So if it was, say, it wasn't a car, say you own a truck washing company, or you know you're a customer and you want to do a truck wash, so it would be like truck washing near me. Then we'd have to create another ad group. We'd need another ad copy because that's got a different search intent for it, because it's not a car, it's a truck. You'd have to change the ad copy. So if you guys have any different keywords like that, do set that up separately, because you can't put them in the same part. So that is just a word of advice on that. Okay guys, so now we're in the ad copy section of this video. So what we're going to do is go ahead, put our URL in this box. I'm going to press enter. It doesn't work. This is only in a beta at the minute. It might work for you guys, but for me, it didn't want to work for some reason. So generating, let's see, it might work. Okay, no, landing page is not supported. I'm not sure why this is. Obviously, Google's still testing this, so it doesn't really matter. But if you guys did want to use AI, I'm going to show you a little tip here on how to do it. So obviously, you've probably heard of ChatGPT. You can use that to generate some copy for your ad. Or there's another site I can show you now. So if we go ahead and hit skip, and if we go, I'll put this in the description, guys, so you guys can go ahead and look at it. So it's just Ahrefs, so you guys might know this from some keyword research. But now they have their own ad copy generator, so it's free as well. So all you have to do, go ahead over here. You can either generate 3, 5 or 10 variants. So we're just going to go ahead and do 5. So you can actually put a prompt in here. So say, make me some ad copy for a car detailing business in the Midlands. Or you could just simply, if you want the simpler results, just put your URL in, hit generate. You actually can change the tone of it as well. We're just going to keep it on formal. Go ahead, hit generate. It's going to take a second to do this. And then once it's generated, we can have it. It's not, like I said before, you don't have to take all of this. You don't have to cut and paste 100% of this. But if it does give you a few good ideas, then there's no reason not to. So it is there to help. So as you can see here, we've got 5 variants that have been produced. Revitalize your vehicle today, premium car detailing services. What I'd like to do ideally with these, if we were going to use any of this, is mix this in with an offer. So you need some information and an offer really to get the click. So I'll show you guys how to do that in a second. Okay guys, so now we're inside Google Ads, we're on the ad copy. So all we want to do for the final URL, that's going to be where once the customer clicks, that's where they're going to be taken. So make sure you've got either a landing page. For this example's sake, I'm just going to use the homepage, but obviously if you guys want to use a landing page, be sure to use that. So if we scroll down, we've got the display path. So this isn't actually where you guys are going to be taken, so it doesn't actually matter. So it's not actually the path where you guys are clicking. So what I like to do here, I like to put the keyword we're actually advertising for. So for us, it's going to be car detailing. So I always like to keep the ads relevant. So car detailing here. I'm not sure why my preview isn't showing up, by the way. It usually does. So yeah, we're going to put that keyword there. So you can have up to 15 headlines. So again, we've used a bit of AI here mixed in, but also, like I said before, what we've got here is an offer on the second headline. So we've got a 50% off bank holiday sale. So the main objective with this is to get clicks, right? So when you get clicks, you get people coming in and you get sales. So the whole main objective is to be relevant. So relevant to our search terms. So there's no point doing this if we're showing up for, let's just say truck wash. So it's not very relevant. It's kind of relevant, but not relevant enough. This is a car detailing. So we're going to show in front of people who want car detailing, and we're going to use these keywords mixed in with our titles. So as you can see in these headlines, I've got revitalize your car today. I've got the promotion mixed in and also got some branding. So I like these three things. I like branding, promotion, and also some sort of keyword mixed in there. So as you can see here, detailing is in there, car detailing, the phrase. So make sure you guys use this on your headlines, because you're going to see once you start running these ads, you're going to get a lot more click-through rate on these some different headlines that are more relevant. So be sure to use that. If we scroll down, we've got the description. You can use 4 descriptions. I've filled out 3 from the AI. Images, business name, logo, very self-explanatory, and site links. You guys want to make sure you fill out the site links. I would recommend doing this at an account level if you're going to be running the ads for a long time. So we're not going to fill it out here. Essentially, this is just putting links underneath your ad that are relevant to the ad itself. So it could be, for example, you've got some products, car detailing products, a shop, for example, contact us, about us. These are all good site links to use. Call outs, these are small snippets that go under those. So for example, kind of the same thing, contact us, homepage, detailing services. Those are good examples to use. So like I said, guys, make sure to use them. Even if you aren't using it at an account level, make sure to use them while filling out these on the ads. So once that's all done, I'd recommend filling that out, and then we're going to move on to the next step, which is going to be our budget. Okay guys, so this is the budget part of the campaign. I'm going to recommend we put our budget. So our cost per click is around £1.20-ish. So we need at least 10 to 15 clicks per day to even have somewhat of some good data to review by the end of the week or month. So if you haven't got that, I wouldn't even recommend you start the ads. So otherwise you're not going to have anything to work from. So you won't even know what's working, what's not, because you wouldn't have any data. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to set the daily budget to at least £25. I think that's quite reasonable for a business of this size, and that will give us enough data and insight on a daily basis to work with. So £25. We're going to hit next. Google's just going to check for errors. Okay guys, so now we're on the bidding strategy. So all you have to do for this, go into your settings on your campaign. Real easy. For some reason Google hides this from you again. I'm pretty sure they don't want you using manual CPC, but we are definitely going to use it for the first part of this campaign launch. I wouldn't recommend using it, once it's built out and once you're getting a lot more clicks and conversions. But the best time to use manual CPC is when you're first starting out, because you get control over your budget. So bidding is also going to be set to maximize clicks. You don't want that. You want to hit change bid strategy. Scroll down, select a bid strategy directly. It says not recommended. I'm not sure why. Probably because Google wants you to spend more money with them. So hit this and then hit this again. And at the bottom, it's going to say manual bid strategies. And we're going to go ahead and use manual CPC. And then we're going to save. So that's going to allow you to change the bids for your keywords using it manually. Okay, so another quick tip, guys. What I recommend starting out, this doesn't mean always keep this on, but especially when we're working with a limited budget, I recommend we change the bid adjustment on tablets by 50%, because we're trying to be the leanest we can and trying to get the best for our money here. So all we're going to do, go ahead and go over to tablets, decrease by 50%, and then just hit save on that. And then there's one more tip I will show you guys, and it's to do with negative keywords. Okay guys, so we're on the final part of the video now. So this is the negative keywords. I'd recommend you do put a bit of time into this, because if you don't, you will be paying essentially to find these out. So it's up to you whether you want to pay for it or not, but I recommend you don't. So ideally what you want to do is go over to keywords, negative keywords. What we're going to do, hit this blue icon here. So then we're going to be presented with this list. So I just show you what the definition of a negative keyword is. So here it's Google's definition is a type of keyword that prevents your ad from being triggered in a certain word or phrase. So for example, we're not, like I keep using before, we don't want to show up for truck wash or something with a truck, or free or Amazon, anything along the lines that aren't relevant. I mean, once you start getting the search data, you will find what people are searching for really. So the best bet is to try and think of the best words that people will be searching for that you don't want to search for or you don't want to show for. So I always use the example free. I mean, that's kind of a generic one for anyone. You don't really want to show for the word free. Another great example I always see on my client's account is like Amazon. You don't want to show on Amazon because, again, it's not relevant to your ad. And the list goes on and on. eBay. So you guys can think of some keyword yourself. That's great because, like I said, you don't want to show for these, even if your phrase is shown after it. It's not relevant to your ad. So, guys, I've created a thing called PPC Academy. The link's going to be put in the description below. It's a completely free private community to sign up to. It's basically where we're all going to share our wins together, ask one another questions, and you'll learn directly from me and a lot of experienced media buyers in there, whether you're stuck on a keyword strategy or you just simply want a second set of eyes on a question about Google Ads. So, like I said, guys, sign up for free below. Link is in there, and I will see you guys down there.